We're going to talk about when is a colony worth saving. A beekeeper must decide when a weak colony is worth saving. A deep frame of 5.4 millimeter foundation is 7,000 cells total, or 3,500 cells per side. A medium frame is a 5.4 millimeter foundation is 4,620 cells or total, or 2,610 cells per side. If a single worker bee produces about 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in its lifetime, and that depends upon the type of nectar and the moisture content. Hence, when a full deep frame of eggs, larvae, cat brood is transferred from a strong colony to a weak colony, the beekeeper can expect to lose up to 9.11 pounds of honey potentially lost by the strong mother colony. In South Carolina, nectar flow starts around the 1st of April into March, with swarming starting around the end of February when the drones start flying. Queens typically are not available until mid to late March at the earliest. So if a colony is ready to swarm 1st of March into February, a walkaway split must be done. The beekeeper typically loses about 50% of the nectar flow with a walkaway split being done the 1st of March. Now, if you transfer a frame of eggs and young larvae from another colony, you can do a walkaway split. It will take anywhere from 16 days to develop a queen, plus 7 to 10 days to mate and start laying, and 21 days for workers to emerge, or 47 days or about 6.7 weeks if a frame of eggs and larvae is transferred. Now, walkaway split is where the beekeeper splits the hive in half, ensuring each half has frames of eggs, larvae, cat brood, pollen, honey, and plenty of bees. One split has a parent original queen, and the other split raises a queen from a young larva. The main nectar flow in the spring in South Carolina lasts 9 to 10 weeks. 6 to 7 weeks for a worker from a frame of eggs at the beginning of the flow results in 60-70% of the flow expiring prior to the field bee starting to forager. This does not include approximately 3 weeks for a worker bee to typically become a forager after emerging. A colony of bees is worth between $250 to $300, but the weak colony will probably need to be fed after the nectar flow for the rest of the year until the next nectar flow. In South Carolina, it typically takes a medium super of honey for a colony to get through the winter. A medium super typically contains about 40 pounds of honey. If fed 2-to-1 sugar syrup in the autumn, this means about 2/3 of syrup is sugar, or about $17.33 of sugar in a medium super. This does not include any sugar syrup fed during South Carolina's summer dearth. The 9.11 pounds of lost honey from strong mother colony is worth about $72.88 at $12 per pint. In South Carolina, the average spring flow yield is 40 to 45 pounds of honey. If the flow is 45 pounds of honey, that means you've lost 20% of your honey yield by moving a frame of brood to the weak colony. So if you add it all up, the sugar and the lost honey yield from the parent colony, the total loss is about $90.21. Also, the weak colony does not have a 100% survival chance. At other times of the year, if you transfer a frame of eggs and young larvae from another colony, you don't have the same impact as before during the nectar flow. If a walkaway split is made, it'll take about 6 to 7 weeks for the colony to requeen and the first workers to emerge. A worker only lives 5 or so weeks during the summer, so additional bees would probably need to be added for the walkaway split to survive. It is preferred to use a mated queen or queen cells to reduce the 6 to 7 week period for workers to emerge. If you requeen the weak colony, if the weak colony has a frame of bees and brood, then requeening may make sense. If the weak colony does not have any brood with only a frame or less of bees. It'll take a mated queen 2 to 3 days to start laying, plus another 21 days for the workers to emerge. However, you need to be cognizant of having enough nurse bees to take care of the bees. Nurse bees are typically less than 12 to 14 days old. You will need to have bees that are just hatched to be very successful. Even with requeening the weak colony beginning to flow, you will lose 3 weeks for the workers to emerge, plus another 3 weeks for the field bees minimum, which is 3 to 6 weeks for the workers to emerge, divided by 10 weeks of the flow. So you've got about 30 to 60% of the flow gone. It takes 2 brood cycles for the number of workers to double. This is 42 days or 6 weeks, which is 60% of the flow gone. Hence, the weak colony would probably not make a surplus of honey or enough honey to get them through the winter or any summer dearth, and you'll have to feed. Combine the weak colony with a strong colony. Combining a weak colony with a strong colony only makes sense if the beekeeper is sure the weak colony is not diseased. You will certainly increase your honey production depending on the colony's strength. Alright, use a nuke. A nuke, short for nucleus colony, can be used to replenish a weak colony. And the nuke is currently worth around $200 in South Carolina. The nuke needs to be disease-free before combining colonies. With a nuke, you may make a crop of honey if combined early in the flow with the weak colony. If not combined with a weak colony, a nuke may make a crop of honey on its own. If the beekeeper does not know the disease status of the weak colony, they may not want to combine a nuke with the weak colony, but place the nuke in larger equipment. The nuke is worth around $200 and may make a crop of honey which is worth about $320 at $12 per pint on its own, versus requeening the weak colony for around $40 to nurse the weak colony back to health.